Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast today. And I want us to discuss also um, a source of funds that is always very conspicuous in the minds of each and every person that is raising money for uh, non-profit organizations. So, how do you get resources or money from United Nations agencies? How do you get resources from United Nations agencies? United Nations agencies have become very important source of resources for NGO for many reasons. Number one, they are very sustainable because once you develop some kind of relationship, it takes time before that relationship comes to an end. The reason being that most of these organizations want to complement or to face their programs to achieve sustainable outcome. They want to work with a partner who understands the community, and through that process, they can progressively move to the next level. And then they can now bring on that element of the nexus from emergency to resilience. Now, I want us to discuss methodologies and ways that any organization can raise resources from United Nations agencies. United Nations agencies are mandated to address specific problems in the community. That is why raising resources from these agencies is also very, very, very important, because you need to understand a lot of pertinent information. And I will begin. Before we go to the exact processes of raising resources from United Nations agencies, I want to make some statement. Number one, UN agencies are very, very categorical and very professional. They want integrity in the process of identifying a partner. So for you to be their partner, you must ensure that you are a legal entity. In other words, your organization should have some legal identity. You must be registered by a recognized government institution or institutions, whichever they are, in your community. And then number two, you must have evidence of work, because they don't want to fund briefcase organizations. So if you want to be one of the organizations they are partnering with, there has to be evidence that you're doing something in your community. And then number two, you must be a member of an umbrella organization. When I was doing this project, especially in the Horn of Africa, including Somalia, they will investigate whether you're a member of the cluster. Membership of the cluster has many benefits. Number one, you are exposed to numerous kind of information and data, which are very critical in responding to the problem in the community. And number two, it also promotes credibility. It shows that you are a member. You have met all the necessary requirements to belong to such umbrella organizations. So once you've done that, now your credibility is guaranteed. Let's go to the next process. What are the processes of partnering with the UN agencies? The first thing I need you to do is that you need to identify a United Nations agencies whose program or programs align with your objectives. We have very, very many agencies and funds. We have issues like UNICEF, which is dealing with things to do with children, whether it is responding to nutrition, whether it is health. In many countries, they also support education. So if you're dealing with issues to do with children, you might want to identify UNICEF. If you're dealing with issues to do with the displaced community and addressing their needs, whether it is wash, sanitation, housing, and all that, you might want to check out the UNHCR. When you're dealing with anything to do with health, you might check World Health Organization, although that is a broader one, but UNFPA micromanages, not actually micromanages, but operates at the community level. So you might want to check out with them, because that is the organization which is related to what you do. If you're dealing with food security and sustainability and resilience, also livelihood as well, you might want to check out the WFP. Now, after number one, identifying the UN agencies, which is related to your organization, the next step that I want you to do is that you must recognize the funding processes. All these agencies have different funding processes. For in the last few years, actually I can say 10 years, there has been a strategy to consolidate where all the places or the platform where partners can access funds. So that is why you must be very familiar with platforms such as United Nations Partner Portal. I am aware they are bringing you UNHCR is there, UNICEF is there, WFP is there. Many organizations are coming to that portal. So ensure that you know UN partner portal, register with the UNPP, feed all the details as required, and ensure that you have updated information. Number two, also ensure that you identify and register the UNGM, UN General Marketplace. A lot of funding opportunities are posted in that platform. So go and register your organization. You can register as an individual if you're a consultant, but register as an organization so that you are able to formally apply for funding opportunities. I know that UN OCHA has got what is called GMS, Grant Management System, where people do applications for funding. But before you do that, they have to do what is called due diligence and approve you so that you are capable of, you are eligible to apply in the system. But the point I'm trying to make here is that ensure that you're aware of the platform which hosts the UN agency or fund that you target. Now, once you fill all the systems, we always advise that do what is called click the notification bell, because after you click the notification bell, anytime there is a funding opportunity, they will alert you, because that is the most important. You need adequate time to prepare the response to a call for proposal. So click the notification bell in UNPP, click the notification bell in UN General Marketplace, click the notification bell in the UN OCHA GMS and any platform, because I'm sure there are other platforms. Now, fill all the requirements completely. Fill every requirement, because they will not come back to you. You can write a perfect proposal, but once they check the requirement, they realize you don't have board membership, it will drop just there. So when they issue what is called CFP, call for proposal, please apply. Now, I want you to notice some important factors to consider before you apply. United Nations funding processes are generally competitive, very, very, very competitive. So how do you win? Number one, if you are describing your problem, use, under problem statement, use what is called updated figures. For us who are working in, I think it's in Somalia, the figures are given under FSNAU findings. So get the updated FSNAU findings and ensure that you identify the latest findings. Apart from that, in order to be distinct, also generate your own figures, because if you're working in the community, at least you know some figures. If the figures produced by FSNU are sometimes broad, but you need something that you can look at specifically for your community. That is the distinction between a briefcase organization and actually a professional or an existing organization. A briefcase organization does not have specific findings in the community. And then what I need you to do also is that whenever you are creating that project, ensure that your organization demonstrate high depths of community consultation processes, because the UN agencies always want the community to lead the project implementation process. And as well, ensure that your consultation with the local authority is important. You understand that local authorities are supposed to be a critical component of project sustainability. So consult local authority and develop that mutual coordination and relationship with the local authority. And then you must always be very categorical when you're writing a section on sustainability. What are your sustainability strategies? I'm going to do a video shortly after this about sustainability, but write sustainability component very clearly, articulate it with evidence, with figures, and use the standard operating procedures which you've localized into your community to demonstrate that you are an organization which is above board in terms of integrity. And then sometimes you might not be having information. For example, you might realize that your certificate expired. So ensure that you continually update the document in the system, UNPP, UN General Marketplace, UN OCHA system, so that this should not be an obstacle or a hindrance to you getting funds. So whether you should update the governance, you should update the list of the board members or the details of the board membership. And here, I mean their passports, their names, their contacts, their emails. You don't want to leave anything to chance. Now, in conclusion, you can reach out to a specific United Nations agency or a fund and also find out from them what do they also require. Just reach out to them, make a call, book an appointment, and find out what they require. And number two, I strongly propose that you talk to an entity that was funded the previous year. It is going to be easy for you to understand some dynamics or has been funded in the past, you will understand some dynamics which are not produced when CFP is issued. And whenever they call a meeting, please attend partner meetings and also ensure that you meet all the eligibility criteria for funding. Please do that. If you follow the processes I've communicated and you prepare yourself adequately, you have increased your chances of being funded by a significant percentage. This is what we do to empower you so that you can get funding to change your communities. I want to thank you so much. My name is Wycliffe. I have a small request. Please subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you don't miss any video. But specifically share this within your circles, because there are people who don't understand as basic information as this. Now they miss out on important funding opportunities which they should have accessed and transformed our community. I want to thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye for now.